race among teenage American men. Learner Tien, first to beat a top 10 opponent at the Australian Open. First to beat a top 10 opponent in a major since Michael Chang back at Roland Garros 1991. Also the youngest American man to reach the third round in Melbourne since Pete Sampras did it. I mean, those are some legendary statistics. What impressed you the most?
Just the way Learner was able to handle the entire occasion. It's one thing to go out on such a big court. He started late because the Keys match went so long, and to play someone like Medvedev, a Grand Slam champion, then get up 2 sets to love. Had the match point, could have won in 3 so often that the younger players then go away, either physically in a 5-set match, sometimes emotionally and mentally. And Learner just hung in there. And then to get down the break in the 5th as well, come back. In the tiebreak, he was the more aggressive player. Couple of errors early on, but he did not shy away from the game he believed he needed to play if he was going to win that match. He went for it at the end, and it paid off for the biggest win of his career so far.
Emotionally, as Lindsay said, far and away the best thing he was able to do, because you can't practice for these moments. You're put out there against a Grand Slam champ, former #1, this kind of stage, you got to learn on the go here. And he did that masterfully. He was beautiful in those moments. But I was also in great admiration of his tennis, to be able to produce that kind of depth of shot, and he had great shot tolerance all the way through. Medvedev makes you play not just that extra shot, but an extra 3 shots there, and that's how he wins a lot of these matches when he's not playing well. Learner hung in there, his shot selection was great, and never panicked. Didn't go for too much, played within his game, backhand, forehand, firing on all cylinders. Marvelous to keep that kind of composure and decision-making in that occasion.
I love the way Martino went through that highlight, because you got a real feel for the cadence of the match. Yeah. I mean, this was a stunning result, the outcome, but the process, how we got there. I mean, after that 4th set, I'm sure a lot of people said, well, you know, good effort for the kid. He'll learn from this experience, a lot to build on. For him to come back in the 5th set, Medvedev, finalist last year, serving for the match to step up and break him. I mean, I think that the score line is going to be something, but for a guy who, remember, he had to qualify too. This was his 5th match in like 8 days. For him to win with that rhythm of a match and come back in a 5th set breaker, that was just extraordinary.
Massive. Nearly 5 hours this match, Martina. What did you learn about Tien that you may not have thought about before?
He's a player. I mean, he's a complete player. Mentally, to be this tough when things were not going his way, when he could have won in 3, and then Medvedev the rest of the match. Physically, that he was able to sustain this, because he's never been here before. I mean, all firsts for him, and he came through beautifully with every test that was thrown at him. We'll see how he recovers from this, but he's 17, so the recovery should be a little bit better than when you're 37. And yeah, he's gonna be fun to watch. He's got all the shots and a lefty to boot.
3 a.m. finish. That's a normal night at SC, though. So he's prepared for that, right?
They close it a little bit early.
Maybe for Prakash.